everybody, and this is Chicken Tigger. So hopefully I will bring you a review of this epic 121 heavy, not heavy tank. It's a medium tank with more penetration than the tier 10 counterpart. It's got a more powerful gun, and so why would you want to get the 113 instead of this? Well, the 113 has somewhat better armor, but that's doubtful, and I don't know the exact reason why. I don't know why the 113 is better of a tank. Maybe it's not, but I just got it, so I don't know. But I got this 121 a while back, so we're gonna take a look at the 121 today. Now, what you need to know about the 121 is that it has just more DPM than the predecessor, which is the WZ-120. Now, what makes the WZ-120 so spectacularly awesome is that the WZ-120 has the 440 alpha damage and pretty nice reload as well for medium, about 11 seconds I believe in my mind. And you can see I'm using this epic bush here. You poke this bush and you could spot them. I have coded optics, but it doesn't seem like I spotted someone there. But you can see this thing doesn't have the best of gun depressions, and that you have to go fully out, and that's something you will not want to do all the time. Now you can see that this tank just doesn't have gun depression, just like the WZ-120. It has like -3 degrees, which is like one of the worst ones in the game. Now let's just talk about the agility. It has not actually got a good agility. It's got a crappy horsepower per ton, I believe. Let me just check the stats while I talk about it. Now the 121 has one of the most epic DPMs, and the thing I play when I play the 121 is not as probably ugly as playing, for example, let's say the T54. Why? Because this gun, you actually don't have to fire heat. You probably only need heat once you see the mouse. Really, I mean it. When you see the mouse, really, that's when you maybe need the heat or the E100. But most of the time, AP will get the job done. So when you play the T54, you're constantly feeling the heartburn, because you're like, oh my god, it's so terrible. Why am I spamming heat? It's not nice. And also, you know, heat rounds are really expensive. So therefore, I don't recommend you to you know, spam gold too often. It destroys your economy, and you get called heat spammer, which is never nice. But occasionally it's pretty nice to do that. You can see I'm dominating the hill now. Why? Because the hill is a strategic position. Why? Because if you just let the enemy just take their shots as long as they want, they can easily just literally destroy your team. Now that tracking shot on the back channel was a game winner. Why? Because he was the best player on the enemy team. What was the 44% after killing the back chair turned to 51? Can you imagine how key of a player he is on the enemy team? And as I said in the beginning of the video, of any video really, recently I've said that you focus on reading the map, you focus on reading the stats of the game, you use that 30 second you get given, maximize the effect of it. Make sure you read it, make sure you utilize your information, make sure you know by the name, by the tank, who you want to focus in the beginning of the game, and that will, trust me, give you the best stats you can possibly get at the moment, without without probably improving anything. I'll just improve your reading ability. Really, it's that easy. Read who you're gonna shoot at in the beginning of the game, and trust me, it's gonna work. And here T11E3, let's just load the gold, because I can't pen him with AP. Well, I could, but it's gonna be very hard. And you can see that if I use gun depression, it can work. And I do feel sad for that E3 there, because look how I'm just gonna DPM out with this gun. It's so epically good with heat rounds. It just makes it unfair. But let's just have a look at this thing. The E3 is known for its arm, but you can see how good the penetration on the 121 is. The only reason why this tank is not overpowered is that almost 90% of the players doesn't know how to use gun depression. The gun depression kills this tank, kills it for a lot of players. But this thing is actually surprisingly got some degree of armor. It's got the same armor as the T-54, but it's got weaker angling. But still, T-54 is known for its armor. So yeah, make sure you get your hands on this tank. It's pretty nice. The whole grind on the Chinese medium is pretty nice as well. I certainly enjoyed it. I was playing the light tanks when I got there. So yeah, the alpha damage really shines. And just check out the damage. You reload in 8 seconds. Come on, that DPM. Literally, for a medium tank, you can just circle just like heavy tanks and just take them out. You can see this game is just average for me at the moment, and you can see that the armor does hold out from time to time, and you have to know how to use your gun depression. As you know, even though I'm taking the hill, yes, the hill, I'm still able to fire them. Why? Because I'm able to read the map, I'm able to read the terrain, I'm able to see which part of the terrain is good. And you can see you have to look at the map, you have to know who the hell is shooting at you, you have to look around, and most of the people die on the top of this hill because they get taken out by the side, and you can see you have to line your tank sideways sometimes to just make sure you do kill the enemy with your limited gun depression. You can see, oh my god, that gun didn't pen, and oh my god, he's gonna pen me all day long, isn't it? And holy crap, I'm gonna die. But somehow he has to run away, and that leaves me with 600 health, and I didn't pen the T-57 heavy, which is almost pretty deadly, and I really want to win this one at this point, so I have to kind of play good and stop being stupid. Now the IS-3, I can chew him out for breakfast. He's gonna struggle to pen me, but holy crap, check out this gun depression. If I was in like a American tank, I probably could have easily taken care of this position here right now. And you can see the armor, you just give it a little twist, and there you go. So yeah, I want to take out this E3, but somehow I didn't pen him there as well. But you see the IS-3 bounce on me again. It's certainly a good, well-armored tank. Just don't expect to bounce against, for example, the gun from the BL-10 or something like that. You can bounce from 250 minus pens, those type of pens. And you can see I'm getting quite unlucky here. I really don't want to take my time to aim. The IS-3 is fairly well hidden there, but you can see the E75 becomes kind of a hero. I just auto aims on that object, and you get a kill like that easily. You pen him from almost every single angle. So yeah, you gotta flank them, and somehow I didn't pen him, but he didn't pen me, so I guess that was a fair trade there. Fair trade indeed. I give Coco to you. Okay, just traded one shot with the T-57 heavy, planted a shot into him, and I took a bounce there. Let's take a look at the bounce. Pretty nice. You get a turret. The turret is so well armored, but just not the Capolos. Now the frontal armor play is pretty decent. The armor's not bad. Just you don't get those what's it called? Awesome frontal play like the T-54, but you still get more armor than the Object 140, and of course the T-62A. Now, why do I would maybe play this tank? It's just because DPM, really, that is probably the reason why I want to play this tank. Now, it's nothing biased really. I didn't like this tank at first. I was like, oh my god, this is a piece of crap. The 120 was like all time better than this one, but somehow, and nowadays I think back at it, I'm like, actually, it's not that bad after all. It's actually pretty nice if I just play it right. But you really have to get used to gun depression. The gun depression is an absolute killer. You have to learn how to use gun depression. So I don't recommend it for anyone with weak stats. It's really not those tanks, really. One of the things you gotta know is that you're not that fast for a medium, but if you could still reach your 50 whatever kilometers per hour top speed. And you can see it's not slow by any means. It's definitely not slow one, but it's not, ultra agile because it's carrying a 122mm gun. Now I've actually been inside a WZ-120 and I got real video footage of it. You can check out. It's actually called Inside T-54. It's actually a Chinese version of T-54. What happened was the Russians were trying to build a communist what's it called, alliance between China and USSR, and so what happened was the Russians was like, hell, we give you the plan and the blueprints for the T-54 because we're comrades, right? And yeah, basically China built loads of T-54s, and yeah, they were pretty awesome. And you can see I even penned the front of a IS-7, and historically I don't think this is accurate, although I need to look at it more because the gun on the WZ-120 was never armed with a 122mm gun, but I did know that historically China did try to test out big guns on small tanks, for example light tanks armed with heavy tank gun. They were trialing those stuff, and the thing is, you see, this thing is got those AP rounds, and you'd be like, oh my god, I don't have APCR, because APCR round doesn't have the normalization or whatever you call it, like the WZ1, the 121. So I would say the 121 AP round, except that the velocity is poorer, but it's got more pen and more reliability than, for example, Object 140's gun penetration. So yeah, this thing it's a go for me. I'd say it's a definite grinder. It's definitely worth the grind, but it's nothing like ultra special, like for example the Waffentrigger E100. But again, those tanks are really hard to play, and so is this one, but this one at least has the armor to do something. So yeah, hopefully you like this one, and hopefully I'll tell you, basically I rate this thing 8 out of 10. That is pretty high, but it's not 9 out of 10. For why? For what reason? It's nothing really special compared to the WZ-120, which is really good. So yeah, I do really think that the 121 is awesome. Actually, let me correct myself. I just remembered the 121 is actually not the Type 59. Sorry, it's actually the Type 69 prototype, which was what happened was China and Russia became enemies in the end. There's a long history. If you want to ask me about that, I could do a history version of it. Let's cut the story short. Basically, China and Russia were enemies. Russians got the T-62A, drove across the border, and our soldiers camped in the snow for about like 2 days and just RPG'd the T-62A on the tracks and tracked it. The Russians like, hell no, we're not going to give you the T-62, not T-62A, T-62. Obviously been playing a lot of water tanks, so I forgot even the real names. So yeah, the Russians got artillery, bombarded the ice, and basically the tank was on ice, so they broke the ice with the artillery. The tank sank into the water. Then a few months later, Chinese divers took the tank out and brought it back to like Beijing, and they analyzed the tank and made improvements on the current Type 59, and then they modernized it slightly with the technology they captured on the T-62A. And really, T-62A on that capture one did really help China's tank development, because China's tank development were almost on a halt because scientists couldn't get enough new ideas, and they didn't even have the infrastructure or the resources to build new tanks, because a century of war, leads the country to poverty. So obviously it's not that easy to make your tanks, and in the end, of course, they decided that they need to put a big gun. So and they put a big gun on the 121. Maybe it was planned, but I don't think it was ever armed with a 122. But I'm ready to get proven wrong. Now, historically, the Type 59, the WZ-120, should actually get a 105 British gun. You'll be like, what? What are you talking about? China's exactly communist, not really capitalist like the European NATO's. So yeah, how come the Chinese tanks got a British gun? Well, in fact, China was trying to export tanks in the 1980s, and so the British offered, actually saying, you sell the tank to the Iraqis or Iranians, and we put a 105mm gun on it, and we make it modernized. So that was the outcome. So historically, it could actually get the legendary 105mm, which almost every single tank has, but Sub said no, we have too many 105s, and no more 105 should be introduced. Then came the STB, which had again 105. So yeah, thanks Sub, and we'll see you next time.